All right, let's take a look at the equations that we'll see on test 2. This is from the review that was handed out in class and is posted in Blackboard. So I'll do this in some smaller chunks, but right now these are the equation problems. Students will often get the solve for y problem wrong, although it's pretty easy. And then, of course, the problem dealing with multiplying everything by the LCD. So let's take a look at these. For number 3, the first thing we'll do is distribute this 4 to give us 6x plus 12 equals 4x plus 40. And now we solve the equation. Usually we get the x's on the left. That would give us 2x plus 12 equals 40. And now I subtract 12 from both sides. So that 2x equals 28. Again, from here, don't divide out the coefficient until your last step. Isolate the term with the x first, and then divide out the coefficient. So x equals 14. On number 6, no like terms to combine over here, so we can just carry these down. Over here, I need to distribute this 2. Don't make the mistake of distributing past the parenthesis. The minus 10 will just carry down. So negative 10x minus 12, and then this minus 10 just carries down. And now we do have some like terms. So our next step will just be to combine those like terms. Negative 12 minus 10 is negative 22. They combine into a larger negative. And now we're just solving a basic equation with variables on both sides. Add 10x to both sides, so that 9x plus 5 equals negative 22. And then we subtract 5 from both sides. To get 9x equals negative 27. Divide both sides by 9, and we get negative 3. So there's that one. Now, solving for y, we have 2 variables here, an x and a y. So we're not going to get a numeric answer like we did on the first problem. All we can do is isolate y. So again, don't divide out this 4 yet, just like an equation. We'll do that at the end. This is a positive 3x. I want to get the 4y term by itself first. So I'm going to subtract this positive 3x from both sides. So now we have 4y equals, don't make the mistake of trying to combine these. These are unlike terms. All we can do is put them next to each other. It really doesn't matter if you do 8 minus 3x or negative 3x plus 8. Doesn't matter. But now we can divide both sides by 4. So if the question just says solve for y, this might be acceptable. I wouldn't mind it as an answer. But Alex might count it wrong, especially if it states to simplify. Negative 3x divided by 4 will not simplify, but 8 divided by 4 will. And again, it's both terms in the numerator that are being divided by 4. And you do have to do this sometimes when you use the quadratic equation. You have to break up your fraction. So let's simplify this. Y equals negative 3/4 x plus 2. But again, for the purposes of test 2 here, if you gave me this, I didn't mean to scratch out the 4, but if you gave me this as your answer, I'd give you full credit because you have solved for y. I'll even give you full credit if you take a shot at reducing but make a mistake as you do that. So students, they don't love the problem where we multiply each term by the LCD. The LCD is often the largest of the denominators that we see. So 4, 8, and 16. So that's a tip for you. The LCD will often be the largest of the denominators. So we need to multiply everything by 16. It's kind of hard to, well, I'll just move on to the next row. Multiply x over 4 times 16. Now here, we can think about it with that simplification. 16 and 4 are both divisible by 4. So the point is that the denominator goes away and becomes 1. But 16 divided by 4 is 4. So our first term is really 4 times x. Multiply the next piece. We're multiplying everything by 16. So 16, or 16 over 1, times 1/8. If there's no variable, you can just put it in the calculator. But here, we just divide the denominator so that the denominator becomes 1. And 16 divided by 8 is 2. So what we really have is a positive, just 2, no variable. I'm going to run out of room here. Next, I'll go off to the side, I guess. We'll take 16, or 16 over 1, times x over 16. Now this one's fun because we're just dividing 16. So this both becomes 1. So we have our equal sign. Again, that's what our first term became. This is what our second term became. X over 16 times 16 is really just 1 times x, or x. And then finally, we take our LCD of 16 and multiply it to a negative 1/4. If there's no variable, you can just put this in the calculator, but this is like 16 divided by negative 4 to get a -4. And so this is our equation that we can solve. We have 4x plus 2 equals x minus 4. So I can subtract x from both sides. So that 3x plus 2 equals negative 4. Subtract 2 from both sides. So that 3x equals negative 6. And divide both sides by 3. So that x equals negative 2. So again, I know it's a lengthy problem, but if you're watching this for the test review, give it a shot. Show me that you can identify the LCD. There's a good chance that it will be the largest of the denominators. And then try to multiply each term by the LCD. And that's what we got here. This is where our 4 terms. You have to work out each term individually as you multiply it by 16. If there's no variable, you can just put it in the calculator. 16 times 1 over 8, and you would get 2. And then just solve the equation. So there's part 1, and I'll make the next part on absolute value, or no, I'll do the inequalities next. But there you go. There's part 1.